Laura Shields is a spokesperson for British in Europe, a coalition of Brits living abroad. I asked her what her expectations are for the Brexit negotiations ahead.
I think what we're going to see in the next few days is there'll probably be some attempts to soften Brexit by different factions within Parliament. So what's being talked up at the moment is Norway Plus or Norway, some version of that, because what is quite clear is that there is no parliamentary majority for a no-deal scenario, even though that is legally what is in place at the moment. But in terms of what I'd like to see, I would actually like to see Parliament coalescing around the idea of another referendum, because I think it's such a mess. Parliament is completely split on this. There are huge signs that the polls are changing all the time. And what could be more adult, democratic and fair than actually putting this back to the people and letting them give their informed consent and let them see if this is really something that they want to do.
But there is an argument that with that first referendum, with that overwhelming turnout, that the people have spoken already.
Well, yeah, I've heard this argument so many times. Yes, 17.4 million people did vote to leave, but over 16 million people voted to remain. So it wasn't a complete landslide. It was very, very close. And actually, it's also not the largest democratic exercise in recent history. The 1992 general election was much higher turnout. But I don't see why this answer, we've already spoken, means that we can't have another vote. That is the point of democracy. Democracy means giving the people the say at all possible points. And whilst I'm not particularly a fan of referenda, and I don't think David Cameron should ever have called something on an issue that is so complicated and so complex in the first place, Parliament has shown that after 2 years it can't do anything about it. Neither can this government. So what would be the best way to settle this is to put the question back to the people. And after all, what we have been seeing is the one thing that unites Leavers and Remainers is that they do not like Theresa May's deal. Only about 20% of the country thinks it's okay. So it would be ridiculous to vote this one through. No deal is completely unacceptable to most parliamentarians. So what are we talking about here? Referendum, Norway Plus. I don't think Norway Plus is actually going to please a lot of people because it doesn't solve any of the sovereignty or democratic deficit issues. So I think put a referendum out there, but let's have an adult conversation. Let's have much tougher policing of the facts that are actually put out there. Hold both sides' feet to the fire, and let's see what happens.
That was Laura Shields from the advocacy group British in Europe.